Hey y'all, I'm Mayer Cunningham, the special education boss. If you've ever felt confused, overwhelmed, or just plain frustrated at the 504 IEP table, you are in the right place. Every week, I'm breaking down the rules, the rights, and the realities of special education so you can walk into meetings informed, empowered, and ready to make real change. And whether you're a parent, a teacher, an advocate, a school-based member, or somebody who's just trying to do right by a student, this podcast gives you straight talk, real answers, and tools that you can use immediately. I'm not here to play politics. I'm not here to play sides. I'm here to train people who sit at the table and teach you how to follow the law, ask the right questions, and protect the rights of students. So go ahead and hit subscribe, share this with a friend, and you know what? Meet me back here every single week. We're not just talking about change. We're making it. Because when you know better, you do better. And when we get it right for the child, we get it right for everybody.
The first questions we get from people is, how do I identify my child that might be in need of services and support at school? He's struggling at school. He's struggling emotionally, behaviorally, with academic production, attending, learning, remembering, all the things that might be concerning you as your child is in public school. And we want to define that for you tonight under the law. And so we abide by the law because the law is our baseline for everything special education. So this is the law. This is the 34 CFR Code of Federal Regulations 300 Title Volume 2 of 4. So this is IDEA, the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. And this is what we live by for all advocates. And we want you to know the information. If you don't have a copy of that, you can go to our bookshelf on specialeducationacademy.com. It's listed there. Or if you don't have access to that, you can always type in ECFR, E for electronic, CFR, and then the electronic code of federal regulations will come up. So let's talk about what it is and what it isn't. If we haven't met, I'm Mayer Cunningham, special education boss. I train everyone that sits at the 504 IEP table to navigate and negotiate successful student outcomes. And so the basis of what we do is we find children that we suspect are in need of special education and related services. So let's talk about what it says under the law. So if you go into 34 CFR and type in 300.111, that is child fine. It will come up in little sheets. So the federal code will list it by name. So type in 300.111 child fine. So generally the state must have an effective policy and procedures to ensure that all children with disabilities residing in that state, including with children with disabilities who are homeless, who are wards of the state, children with disabilities attending private schools, regardless of the severity of their disability, and who are in need of special education and related services are identified, located, and evaluated. So there is an obligation of the state to set up practices and procedures to identify and locate these children wherever they are receiving their education. So that is a child with a suspected disability. Further in the statute, it says under 300.111C, other children in child fine must also include children who are suspected of being a child with a disability under 300.8 and in need of special education, even though they are advancing from grade to grade. So let's talk about that for a second. 300.111C. So just because you're advancing from grade to grade doesn't dismiss you from the opportunity to be tested for a full and individualized evaluation. So remember these things. And then D, 300.111D, and construction of it. So nothing in the Act, and the Act is the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, requires that children be classified by their disability. So as long as each child who has a disability that's listed in 300.8 and who, by reason of that disability and special education related services, is regarded as a child with a disability under Part B of this Act. So we want you to know your rights. We want you to know the obligation of your district, city, or county as we look for, identify, and locate children who are suspected of having a disability and needing special education and related services. It's important that you take these statutes with you when you go and meet with the school and let them know that you are concerned about your child's educational progress. We don't say academic progress because we talk about their educational progress, and that includes everything academic, functional, sensory, motor, language, communication, behavior, any need that could arise during an instructional day. We can provide special education and related service around those needs. So one of the things that makes us the saddest as special education advocates is that a lot of parents are just told no. We're told you have to give us some time. We have to do MTSS. We have to do RTI. We have to do SST. Those are all response to intervention, and they're fine, but they do not stop testing for special education as a requirement under Child Find. There's a follow-up letter to that. If you go to OSEP, Office of Special Education Programs, just type in the acronym OSEP and type in January 2011, and there will be a letter, a guidance letter from the Office of Special Education Programs to state education agencies, again, reminding them that they cannot deny special ed testing under Child Find, even if you are participating in RTI, response to intervention. So know your rights, be ready to have a firm commitment in getting your child testing, because listen, testing does one of two things. It identifies and it eliminates, and we want both. We want to know if the child has a disability and one of three outcomes, right? That they have a need for special education and related services, they have a need for a 504 plan, or their disability does not impact them to the level of which they would need any extra services. And so make sure that you are committed to getting this testing started under Child Find. And my email to the school would be quite simple. Dear school, this is my formal request for my student to have special education testing. Areas of suspected disability are learning, remembering, behavior, emotions, communication. We look forward to coming in and signing notice and consent. You do not have to prove that your child has a disability to be tested for special education related services. You do not have to have an outside diagnosis. You do not have to have an outside report from somebody. So this is provided to you at no cost. The testing is available at your local school district. So reach out today, because kids don't have time to waste, to make sure that we are identifying their need and intervening. Remember, when we get it right for the child, we get it right for everybody. And remember, if you haven't got our new book, The Epic IEP, it's available everywhere. You can get it at theepiciep.com or anywhere that you get your books, so that you can be most powerfully positioned with this amazing playbook, whether you're a parent, an educator, or an advocate navigating the special education process. If you need anything from us, just reach out to us at advocate@specialeducationacademy.com. We'll see you guys in the next training.
Hit subscribe, share this with a friend, and you know what? Meet me back here every single week. We're not just talking about change, we're making it. Because when you know better, you do better. And when we get it right for the child, we get it right for everybody.